Good morning, everybody. I'm Mark Zinni, and today for Eric Parker on this Sunday morning. Thanks for being here. We start our program this morning with Connecticut Attorney General William Tong. On Wednesday, he announced a $60 million settlement with internet provider Frontier Communications. He joins us this morning here in Studio A to talk more about this. Very good to see you this morning.
Great to see you, Mark.
Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Happy fall.
This is a very big deal, right? $60 million. What does this mean?
It's a really big deal for customers.
Yeah.
We have thousands of customers in Connecticut who still use DSL, which is increasingly an antiquated technology. And we've gotten over 1,400 complaints of bad quality, bad service, overcharging by Frontier. And you know, this started well before I became Attorney General. So we took action, investigated, and this is a more than $60 million settlement that will stop some of those bad practices, that will stop hidden charges and overcharging, improve customer service and quality, but more importantly, put $42.5 million back into the network and move people who are on DSL now to fiber optic.
You talk about the roughly 1,400 complaints that the office received. Were these people who were thinking they were getting nowhere when trying to reach out to Frontier, so they then went to you?
Yes, this is one of the biggest problems with Frontier, and frankly, it happens with other companies too, where you call and you're on hold and maybe the call gets dropped and you can't get through, and it's very frustrating. And that's when people call the Office of the Attorney General. It's really hard for one individual citizen or family to take action against a big conglomerate that operates in 25 states. But with the Office of the Attorney General on your side, you can take action, and that's why today we're holding Frontier accountable to the tune of $60 million.
And how does that money break down? You're talking about using it to provide internet, increase service to folks in certain parts of the state?
Yeah, so what's really important is it serves people who are already on DSL with Frontier and moves more than 40,000 people over the next 3 years over to fiber, and so they'll get high-speed broadband. You know, today it's hard to think of a service more important than your internet, right? Especially because of the pandemic. People work at home or they telework, people send their kids to school from home with remote learning, you buy groceries, you access medical devices, all these things, health records, you do it from your internet connection. And so it's so critical for people in their everyday lives that they have access to high quality broadband service, and that's what this will do for thousands, tens of thousands of people in Connecticut.
I'm curious what it was like for you dealing with Frontier. We did reach out to them a few times. We have not heard back. Obviously, they agreed to this, and this is going to cost them a lot of money.
It's challenging. It's always challenging when you take on a huge corporate conglomerate like this, again, that operates in 25 different states. Frontier has entered into 8 settlements with various states. Ours is one of the biggest, and it's definitely the biggest in terms of forcing Frontier, compelling Frontier to make this $42.5 million investment in the network. The key thing is to make sure that people get access to broadband internet, because they need it. The key thing is that if they buy internet from a provider like Frontier, that they get the speeds that they're promised. And what this does is make sure that happens.
Well, and honestly, a lot of folks, probably myself included, wouldn't even realize necessarily if I was getting what I was paying for, right?
Right. How am I supposed to know whether I'm getting 100 megabits or what that even means? I just know that it's slow, right? And I can tell that videos or websites aren't loading as quickly as they can. And for people, again, who work from home or who are remote learning or need to access their online health records, that delay, you know, can cost people in terms of their jobs and their education, but it can also be dangerous for them.
And the issue with the hidden fees in the bill, that can be, I would imagine, infuriating for you, because these bills are very, very confusing. No matter really what service or provider you're using, you get these big bills, you kind of glance at them. We don't always know what's in there.
That's a constant struggle with our utility bills, including our internet bills. It's hard to know what each fee corresponds to or why I'm paying it. What was really outrageous here was that Frontier was charging a $6.99 fee that they hid in the bills and people didn't know was there. That stops now. They're going to stop charging that fee, they're going to stop hiding that fee, and they're not going to do it again. Or if they don't, they're going to suffer the consequences. This agreement gives me the ability to go back into court if they find they don't comply and seek upwards of $6 million in penalties.
I would imagine there's a lesson here for people in Connecticut who sometimes feel maybe defeated when you call looking for help or looking for some kind of guidance or information. There are outlets. You can fight back, right?
Sure. I mean, there are people that have felt that they couldn't take on the student loan industry And with the Attorney General's office, they did. There are obviously people who feel like, well, how can you take on big pharma and the generic drug manufacturers and the opioid and addiction industry? But they reached out to us, and we took action, and we took them on. And it's particularly effective because I have the ability to reach out to my fellow AGs in our sister states, and together as a team, we take on often interests that feel so powerful, these forces that bear down us and squeeze us every single day. But together with the Office of the Attorney General and other offices, we can push back and protect Connecticut families.
And also a warning potentially for other companies that may be perhaps doing some things that they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, I think they know we're here.
All right. Attorney General William Tong, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you,
We appreciate
Mark.
your time this morning.